everyone, welcome back to what's going to be a different video. This video I'm about to speak about is something that I feel like a lot of people need to know. Um, my audience, you guys for sure, and also the people that care about me, because I've kept a lot of things in the dark this past year, and I've acted off this past year. This video may be sensitive to some viewers because some things that I'm going to be talking about are a bit personal, and I feel like will be personal, hit a bit close to home for some people. And one last disclaimer, um, I am not going to be including any screenshots of anything, partly because of privacy reasons, but also because I don't want you to getting mad at me. Um, But with further ado, let's get into today's video. Now, to kick things off, we have to go back to April of 2024, specifically April 5th of 2024. And a bit of background is this person that we met maybe 6 months ago, 5 or 6 months ago. We didn't start talking much until maybe 2 months before this incident, and we didn't become friends until maybe 3 or 4 weeks before this incident. Now, on April 5th, I woke up like any other day for school. I didn't want to, I had to. Um, and I looked at my phone to a message from this person. We have, like I said, been friends now for maybe 3 or 4 weeks. We bonded, became close, and this message, to sum it up, I can't say everything and I can't show everything, and I'm not going to, but it basically summed up to say, I can't take this anymore. I'm sorry, but something that stood out to me amongst everything, everything stuck out to me, of course, but something that also stuck out to me was the fact that this person said that she loved me. And at the moment, because of the amount of time that I've known her and the amount of time that we've actually talked, I was debating whether or not I do like her or not. I was kind of on a 50-50 scale of, I do, I don't. Um, but after this, I was able to talk to her, I was able to calm her down, and we ended up getting together. So I decided, I said, you know what, fuck it. We got together, and things were fine for the first month. Now, something that I should point out was that this girl, she had mood swings. Kind of typical mood swings, like normal mood swings. The only thing is that these mood swings would cause her to want to break up. Like, she would think stuff and then she would want to break up. Now, these breakups, these quote unquote breakups, weren't actual breakups, but rather just her overthinking. But other than that, the first month was fine. Up until the end of May, almost June, too. Um, this day was on May 27th. I remember this day very clearly. Um, it was in the afternoon. I believe I was out of school by this time. I don't think I went to the last day of school actually. Because I never do. But anyways, this was on May 27th in the afternoon, and now I'm pretty sure everybody here knows that some schools, or a lot of schools for that, do school dances. And you know what? I was like, okay, that's fine, because she said that she was going with some friends, said that's fine. I didn't really think of it at all. So I ended up taking a nap. I woke up to a message that said, hey, we need to break up. It's not you, it's me. And obviously, I'm going to freak the fuck out. Um, So I originally thought after speaking to, I believe I spoke to one of her friends. It was somebody I spoke to, and they gave me that idea. Um, but I ended up staying up almost all night waiting for a response because I originally thought that was the reason. Um, and it wasn't. And about 4 a.m., finally responded, and we got into huge argument over it. And I can't remember after this argument. I'm not going to say a whole lot about this argument because this argument was kind of bullshit. I mean, it basically just summed up to say, I don't give a fuck about you. I've fucking cheated on you because this message pointed out. By the way, when I woke up to this message, it pointed out that this girl had kissed somebody else, and I assume other stuff. But it wasn't said in the message. So it kind of came down to in that argument. It kind of came down to I don't give a fuck about you. He's better and all this shit. So I believe after a big ass argument, um, I blocked her. I don't know if I blocked her or if she blocked me, but we did block each other at the end. And um, basically the whole summer, besides that, we didn't really talk. Although, me and a friend in late June, we ended up making a video about it, and we kind of dissed her on my old channel. Now, unfortunately, I don't have this video, I believe, anymore, unless I do have it. It's just buried somewheres. It may be, but I don't have it currently. I'd have to look for it. And we kind of just dissed her, said a whole bunch of shit, and that was kind of that. Now, if there's anybody here that was here around that time, then you guys would know what I'm talking about, along with everything else, because I posted a lot of it on Twitter. But during this time, I had a whole lot of doubts, I'd say. I was like, there's no fucking way this actually is true. Like, there has to be something wrong. You know, typical things that you would think after a breakup, you know? Um, so what I thought was a smart idea was reaching back out. So that's what I did. I went and reached back out, and basically the story that I got was that she was forced into doing what the fuck she did. Um, by I believe this guy was her ex, by the way. So I think this guy was her ex, which I should have fucking known. Was gonna be trouble. But what I got the story of was he forced her, he made her, um, didn't want to get hurt or something. I can't remember that. That's kind of the story that I got back. So I went, I believed her because one, I missed her. Two, I wasn't over it yet. And three, I'm kind of stupid. Now I know a lot of people have disagreed with me on that, but that's what I'm gonna say. I kind of mean that sarcastically, but I don't. Anyways, so after me and her got together, I got to say that things weren't ever really the same. Um, you know, we, I always had doubts. I shouldn't say we. I always had doubts in my head from that. And it didn't help anything when we would argue a whole lot. But I'll get to that in a minute. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Now, she had introduced me in about, I believe this was late August, to her quote unquote friend. No, I say that because this friend was also her ex. And so immediately I'm like, what the fuck? So I say, hey, so why are you friends with your ex? She's like, oh, we had a big falling out and blah, 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 blah. We're only friends. And so I said, okay. Um, She wanted me to introduce her to me. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why. But after some convincing she did, I bought in. I said, okay, fine. I'll meet her. I'm not gonna like it, but sure. So I ended up meeting this girl. This girl, fucking from hell. Absolute demon, I have to say. And I say that because from this point forward, this girl would always flirt with me. She would always try to get me to cheat. Because the thing about this, of course, it's an ex of her. So she's not over their breakup. And she doesn't like me being with her. So what I had figured out was she didn't want her being happy. She didn't want the person that I was with being happy. So she would try to flirt with me, get me to cheat, and all this, and blah 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 blah. And wouldn't when I wouldn't do this, by the way, she would quote unquote hurt her. Now I don't even know till this day if that's even true. I don't even know till this day if any of it is true. Um, because I kind of doubt it now. But what I was told was she would hurt her, and this wasn't some verbally shit. This was like physical shit, because apparently they knew each other in real life. So she would hurt her and do all of this. And so she said, I'm going to keep doing this until you cheat. So I tried it about everything. I have to say, I tried like everything. I went to some people, I asked them for help. Nothing worked. Absolutely nothing. So eventually, I'm not very, I wasn't very happy. Of course, I wasn't happy, and I wasn't very proud of what I had to do. Um, but what ended up happening was I bought in, and I did this because I didn't, for one, I didn't want anything else to happen. I didn't want her to get hurt. The person I was with getting hurt anymore. And I kind of just wanted it to be all over. And I just wanted her to be safe. It's basically what it came down to. So I talked about it to the girl that I was with. And I said, hey, you know what? Just buy in, do it, leave you alone. And yeah, I wasn't very proud of this and what I did, but I did it not for myself, definitely not for my fucking self. If it wasn't for that, I would honestly just stop talking to both, probably. But because of that, I just bought in. I did it. I did. I did some things that I'm for sure not proud of doing with her. Um, and even after this, I have to say, still kind of went on because she wouldn't leave her alone unless I did shit with her. I ended up doing shit, of course, just so that she would be safe. And I definitely I regretted it then, but I regret it now even more for what I threw away. Um, After that though, and after she did finally go away, me and the girl that I was with. Now, I need to tell you this, unless you guys check my Twitter, you guys aren't going to know on video what her name is. And the only reason why I'm going to have it like that is that I don't want YouTube getting mad at me. Like, again, because apparently YouTube doesn't like me currently. Um, but after this, me and the girl that I was with, we would argue constantly. And we would argue over the stupidest fucking things ever. We would argue over the stupidest things ever. Um, and it got so bad that it was on a daily basis where I would come home from school and we would argue. Or even during school, I was in school. When I was in school, we would argue. I've gotta say that this was probably these months in late 2024 were some of the worst months that I've had. We would argue constantly. We would argue over stupid shit, and it wouldn't stop. Even after me and her would talk about it, wouldn't stop. There was a lot of times actually that we would argue in school when I was in school, and I would end up crying or tearing up during class. And I've got to say this too. Um, this really caused me to not do a whole fucking lot in school just because of this. Because we would argue constantly, and then because of that, I wouldn't be motivated to do anything. I wasn't even motivated to make videos. That's how bad it was, and that's why I didn't post a whole lot. But definitely in school too, I wasn't motivated to do anything, so I kept on getting bad grades because I wouldn't do shit because of it. We would argue constantly, and it got to a point where I was so tired of arguing because I fucking hate arguing in relationships. I hate arguing. So it got to a point where I would say sorry for stuff that I didn't even do. For stuff I didn't even do or things that weren't even my fault. I would just say, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I would say it that because I didn't want to argue and I was so tired of arguing. And that was kind of the only way that it would stop. So I said, okay, fine, fuck it. You got me. I'm sorry. This arguing like almost never stopped. And it kind of took a toll on me. I mean, it put my motivation down. It fucked kind of with my mental health. It did a whole lot, to say the least. And at one point, me and her ended up breaking up, and I don't really call this a breakup because it was only for like a few days, maybe two to 4 days. We broke up. We got back together because again, it was over a fucking stupid argument. So we ended up getting back together, and I mean, the arguing kind of stopped after a while. It kind of finally stopped, but I kept on having doubts in my head. And that's kind of a big thing that I'm about to touch on right now. So, fast forward maybe to about March of this year. So, at the time of this, about 3 months ago, it was early in March, and of course, I think the arguments were still happening actually. So, what would what happened was this person found my account, my personal account too, and messaged me. Um, and this message was asking if I was who I was. I said, "Yep, was." Said that this was the person that I was dating's friend, and he said that he had something to tell me. This guy goes to show me and tell me that she's been cheating on me for about 7 to 8 months since September of last year. And here's something I need to say as well because I didn't say it. I would argue, and I wouldn't argue, I should say, but some of these arguments that I would have with her were over doubts that I had because I would tell her calmly too. I would say, "Hey, I'm feeling this type of way, and hey, um, I would just say stuff because I had doubts, and I would ask." I didn't say it in a rude way. I didn't think so, at least. And she would get so offended whenever I brought this up. So eventually I just stopped talking to her. I just said, okay. Because also, she would make me feel that she made me start thinking that I was just fucking crazy. So when I got told this and shown this, that she was cheating on me, firstly, I was hurt beyond belief. But I was also so pissed off, especially because she didn't want this guy meeting me. She didn't want him talking to me. She didn't want anything. because of course she doesn't want me to know. There's not really any other way to put that. So he tells me, and I kind of confront her about it. We got into an argument, broke up. I'm not gonna really say anything else relating to that because there's not a whole lot to say about it. Other than that, we argued. A lot of things were said. We broke up. Um, I was hurt. Of course, I was hurt, and everything I said, everything I suspected was true. I knew it was true deep down, but I didn't. I didn't want to believe it because I just I loved her a lot. That's what it comes down to. So I didn't want to see the truth because I loved her a lot. Um, I mean, we would argue, we would do all of this, but it didn't ever stop me from loving her. Um, but anyways, after this, let's say maybe I don't know, it wasn't a whole lot later, maybe a week or so later. We talked again. I can't remember a whole lot about this because I kind of try to block it out my mind. But we started talking again. He kind of said a whole lot to me, and blah blah blah. Tried saying sorry, and something that I did, which I shouldn't have done, was I went ahead, gave her another chance, and I shouldn't had. Know that now. No, everybody's gonna yell at me for this. I did give her another chance. That didn't fucking work, for sure. What ended up happening was we got back together. This shit didn't even last for more than a month, I believe. We got back together. I believe it was almost at the end of March. We got back together. It was kind of on and off too. So, because we would argue, but what I ended up finding out was at the end of this second quote unquote second try, which in reality really is a third try because of everything that happened last year. Um, got into another argument. We kind of stopped talking, and um, what had happened was I found out through, of course, her ex was that she went she went and had sexual relations with another guy. And I kind of what tipped, and that's kind of what tipped everything off for me. What I should say as well was this actually relates back to before the second try. It was where, um, hmm, actually, no, I am right. I'm sorry about that. I found out after me and her stopped talking was that she she went and had sexual relations with another guy, and that's kind of where I said, okay, that's it. And me and her got into a real huge argument about this. And even after all of this is gonna be the final time. Um, I gave her one last chance. Everybody can yell at me because I know everybody's like, what the fuck? I went and gave her one final try. That didn't work either. We ended up breaking up. I'd say maybe around wasn't that long ago. We broke up again. Um, there was a lot of things that were said, and I think that's something that really switched something in my head was that, she said something to me, and I'm not gonna say either, but there was something that she said, it really hit for me, and it really hurt me in a way that I don't think is ever going to go away. Along with everything else, um, there's so much more stuff and so much more detail I could say that I'm not going to say. just because I feel like if I say it, I'm going to genuinely cry. And I don't want to do that. Um, I've spoken to so many people about this. I've spoken to about everybody that I know. I told them this story, and everybody supports me. And the thing that's brought up every single time that I've told anybody is that either she manipulated me or she's just she's really fucking crazy. That's really what it comes down to. And I don't disagree. I've told from my IRL friends, the people that I know online, and they've kind of been my motivation for getting on video to say all of this. But this kind of explains from that point on, from April of last year, why I've been so on and off. And even after she's been gone, I've still been dealing with so much things that has prevented me or not or I've not wanted to upload because of that. It's been so much that it's absolutely crazy. Um, but I know that a lot of people have wanted an explanation of why I've been gone so long and why I've taken so many breaks. I wouldn't even say breaks because I don't announce them as breaks, but I just haven't been uploading. And that's why. It's because this thing that was supposed to be I don't even know if I should call it a relationship anymore because it's turned into something that isn't even that. I it it's just it's been a whole lot for me and I've been very hurt because of it because it messed with my feelings. It's fucked with me mentally and there's just been a lot of things that I've it really puts me down. It really does. I do appreciate everybody that supported me, and I appreciate everybody that's been so patient with me. I've had some viewers come into my DMs and say, "Hey, are you okay?" And ask me why I haven't been uploading. I've told you guys, for those that are watching, um, this is why. And everybody else, this is why. I appreciate everybody. I know the first time around when I said something about this person, everybody was very supportive of me, and I know everybody cheered me on, and I appreciate you guys so much. You guys mean absolutely everything to me. Um, Regular uploads should come back. I put them for once every 2 weeks now, just because it gives me more time to think and prepare for a video. It gives my team some time to also work. I really appreciate you guys, and I can't emphasize that enough. And you guys are amazing people who watch my videos. And I couldn't get through without all of you guys because it's taken a whole lot for me to move forward. I know a lot of people are gonna question this too. A lot of people are probably asking, where are you now? Um, I'm currently, I'm still kind of recovering, but I definitely feel a whole lot better now than what I was a few weeks ago. Um, I'm not crying anymore, especially when talking about it. When I was explaining this to a lot of my friends, I cried. I did because it hurt so bad. But I've recovered a whole lot since then. I've built up the strength to tell people, and I have a lot of people that do support me, and I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all of you guys, and I thank everybody for being here for me during this time. Regular uploads are coming back. I have a few videos coming for you guys. I had a viewer that had reached out to me a few days ago about a video. If they're watching this video, then trust me, that video's coming for you. Um, but thank you guys all again for supporting me. I appreciate it all. And this video marks the end of an era for what I've gone through for a while now. It marks an era, the end of an era. And it's time to move on. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me yap for about 30 minutes, maybe even more at this point. Um, I appreciate everybody. I love all of you guys. Um, you guys, if it wasn't for you guys, trust me, I wouldn't be here. I appreciate every single last one of you guys. Thank you for following me on this journey. There's a whole lot more to come, trust me. And until then, guys, I will see you guys in the next video.